Well, in this video, I want to show you how to add both axes labels and change the font and just make these graphs look as professional as possible. Part of this class is to help you to get good at those really understated but important skills about chemistry. So one of the things I recommend that you do is, since you only have one series of data, click on this legend entry over here and hit delete. You don't need it, you just have one set of data. Another thing that I'm going to recommend is that you change the font size of your axis labels because they're so tiny, old people like me won't be able to read it. So just left click on that axis one time. You can then go to either font here, or you can double click on the left axis. When you do, click on font, and I recommend that while you do that, you change it to something that's really legible, like size 20 font. That's a lot better. Same thing with the x-axis. Let's change that to size 20 font as well. Oh, that's great. But a graph without labels on the axes is meaningless. I don't know what 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 correspond to. So I have an option on my version called Toolbox, and everyone's version is different. Thank you very much, Microsoft. Where we can, in this version, change the title of the axes. So in this case, my horizontal axis is time, and it has units of seconds. Now you'll notice that it put it all the way down here. We'll fix that in a moment. I also want to have a vertical axis, and in this case it's natural log of absorbance. Looks good. We want to make these readable, so I'm just clicking on them and setting them to 20 font. I don't really like grid lines all that much, so whatever version you have, try to find some way to turn off the horizontal grid lines. We're getting there, but now we could probably do a couple things. One of them is to make the axes lines darker. I don't think that was it. I want to click right on the numbers, I think. There we go. I'm going to go over to line. I want to make the line not gray but black. And then I'm going to change the weight of the line to maybe 1.5. We'll say OK. It's still OK. Now it looks very good, very clear. Let's do the same thing with the Y. So we'll change that to black, and we'll change the weight of that line to say 1.5. So it really stands out, and will really stand out when you print it. We should try to lower this axis so that it is at the very bottom of the graph, because graphs customarily are built like this. Here's the vertical, and the horizontal comes in perpendicularly right down here. So how we move this down here is kind of unusual, but you have to double click on the y-axis again and go to scale. In scale, notice that it says the horizontal axis is going to cross the y-axis at 0. I don't want that. In my case, I see where if I move it down to negative 2.5, that's perfect. I don't know what the exact numbers will be for your case, but there we go. Now that's looking pretty good. We can just simply try to move some of this up a little bit so that the word time isn't right in the middle of the words. Hey, that's not bad. We can do the same thing with this one. I'll go a little bit faster. Delete that. Get rid of grid lines. Increase the font size on the axes. And once you get the hang of this, it goes pretty fast. Let's change the line while I'm here. Make that black. 1.5 line point. Looks good. We need some labels, so my vertical will be 1 over absorbance. My horizontal, again, will be time in seconds. Let's highlight these. And there you have it. So we've made both of the graphs. For the last video, I'm going to show you how to fit a trend line to your data.